start off tonight with prayer. Prayer will be led by Councilwoman Wiggins, and I will do the pledge. Councilwoman Wiggins.
We bow our heads and pray, if you would like. Lord, we thank you for this night. We thank you for bringing us to this meeting. Lord, we put this meeting in your hands, and we thank you for your guidance and your direction. We just welcome you, and we ask that we would be the people and the council people that you want us to be. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You gotta be out of here about 7 o'clock.
You must have a date with the
So you
turkey.
gotta be out of here about 7 o'clock.
Excuse me.
How that's gonna work.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Sylvia.
Present.
Councilmember Seals.
Present.
Councilmember Balls.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Present.
Councilmember Ostash.
Present.
Councilmember Braddock.
Present.
Councilmember Wiggins.
Present.
Councilmember Hammond.
Present.
And Mayor Moore.
Present.
All 9 members present.
Okay. Do we have any announcement? Well, I'm sorry. First, I'd like to welcome everybody to City Council tonight. Thank you for coming out. I ask that everyone on the podium silence their phones and their computers. Audience, if you could do the same, I sure would appreciate it. Do we have any announcements, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mayor, we have a few. City offices will be closed this Thursday and Friday, November 23rd and 24th. I have the date wrong. Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
For the Thanksgiving holiday. Due to Thanksgiving, trash collection will be delayed by 1 day. If your collection day is normally Thursday, it will move to Friday. Those that are normally collected on Friday will move to Saturday. Your collection day will return to normal next week. Yard waste collection has been extended by an additional week. The week of December 9th will be the final week. Residents may place yard waste in paper yard waste bags or labeled containers at the curb on their regular trash day. The yard waste collection season will conclude on December 13th. The Public Works Building at 1435 South Washington is again a drop-off location for recycling old holiday lights. The collection will run through January 15th. We have a proclamation on the agenda this evening. It's recognizing December 1st, 2024 as World AIDS Day.
And that proclamation will be read by Councilman Ostash.
Thank you, Mayor.
Last day of yard waste,
The week of December 9th.
December 8th.
December 9th. It is hot. It was hot hearing you, so.
All right, thank you, Mayor. We have a proclamation tonight. City of Saginaw proclamation, whereas World's AIDS Day takes place on the 1st of December each year, it's an opportunity for people worldwide to unite in the fight against HIV, to show support for people living and affected by HIV, and to remember those who lost their lives to AIDS. And whereas this year's theme of World's AIDS Day is Take the Rights Path, My Health and My Right. The world can end AIDS, and communities leading the right way. This year marks the 36th commemoration of this important day. And whereas over the past 36 years, there has been significant progress in addressing HIV/AIDS, thanks to advancements in medical research, increasing access to treatment and prevention, and a broader understanding of the virus. And whereas we have seen countless examples of how community activism and solidarity have once again been paramount in providing people affected by HIV with information, services, social protection, and hope. On World AIDS Day, we are reminded that no challenge can defeat the unyielding American spirit. Together, we will continue to make progress in our efforts and find a cure for HIV/AIDS, and to endure that all Americans live healthier and happier lives. And whereas we are grateful for organizations like Great Lakes Bay Health Centers that offer prevention, treatment, and counseling for HIV. This includes medical care and on-site laboratory, medication, insurance, testing, transportation assistance, and other supportive services. We thank them for their commitment to support those living with and affected by HIV and AIDS. Now therefore be resolved, I, Brenda Moore, Mayor of the City of Saginaw, do hereby proclaim December 1st, 2024 as World AIDS Day in the City of Saginaw, and urge all residents in our community to join me in appropriate activities to remember those who have lost their lives to AIDS and to provide support and compassion to those living with HIV. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Saginaw to be affixed this 25th day of November in the year of our Lord, 2024. Brenda F. Moore, Mayor. Council members Priscilla Garcia, Mayor Pro Tem, Michael D. Balls, Eric D. Braddock Sr., Carly Rose Hammond, Monique Lamar Sylvia, Bill Ostash, Jacinta Seals, and Heidi G. Wiggins. Timothy Morales, City Manager. Thank you.
Okay, normally we would have a representative, but we will make sure that they get this proclamation. Madam Clerk.
Mayor, that takes us to public input.
This is public input time. You'll be called to the podium by the clerk. You have 3 minutes. There's a clock that you can watch for your 3 minutes. Please get everything you need to have in within those 3 minutes. Madam Clerk.
Our first speaker is Donovan Monte Gomez.
There's no one in the halls.
On to John Wisniewski.
Yeah, my name's John Wisniewski. I live on Woodbridge Street, North Woodbridge Street. Just got my sidewalk replaced. It's been a long deal. We started about 6 years ago with a letter. Nothing was done. I was told I could get a better price. We're talking about approximately 100 square feet of concrete. They never gave me a price. When you tell somebody you get a better price, that involves one thing, getting a price. I found out, the bill finally came, told me it's gonna be like $2,020. I could have gotten this done for probably $1,200 or $1,300. Could have saved myself 40%. From what I understand, there's no recourse on this. It feels like strong arm tactics. It's, I'm really disappointed, angry, and yeah, just disappointed. And it's coming out of my pocket. And on that tree, on this sidewalk, on the east side, my house is directly east of that. Prevailing winds come from the west. They tore up a lot of roots on the east side of that tree. The tree's not the healthiest to begin with. So I'm wondering, when that tree does fall on my house, who's gonna have to pay for that? Probably me. I think that's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. The necessary department should get with you so that we can get a report back on what was the resolution.
Repeat, please?
That the department that was over that should get back to you, and then they will report back to us what the findings were, or what happened.
Okay, I mean, when you say you get a better price, you need to get a price.
Okay.
You know, that's,
Okay.
and then you got no recourse but to go on your taxes. It's, you know, it's like I say, it's strong arm tactics.
Someone will get back to you, sir.
Mayor, that takes us to remarks of council.
And tonight we will begin with Councilwoman Seals.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I am
I'll
grateful.
pull the mics back so that people can hear you. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for everyone for showing up tonight. I appreciate to see the community out. I'm very grateful of being here and to continue to learn my position, new position here on City Council. This is my second meeting today. My first meeting was last week when I was sworn in, so I'm still learning a lot. And it's been a great journey for this first full 7 days as a City Council member, and I will continue learning. If you guys ever need anything, I am available through email, and the information is actually online, so thank you for the people that work at City Council or that works at the city for getting our information up and already available to the public, so thank you for that. That's it, thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Councilman Balls.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have a lot to say. My voice is kind of messed up, but I would like to mention something I always mention, and I think appreciate it if everybody here can get involved in some kids' lives who you know don't have a father or a mother at home. Mentoring do work. Had the opportunity this weekend to spend some time again with the brothers with the help group at the YMCA, and we had some real good dialogue going on about kids being more aware of their surroundings and how they react to different things in their community. And we was talking about the trauma that a lot of kids go through and some of the ways that they deal with trauma. We kind of find out that the way they're dealing with most of it is not too productive because they think that a lot of alcohol and drugs can help them relieve the pain of misery that they are experiencing. But the brothers of the help organizations are trying our best to give the young guys some hope, and hopefully they won't be using dope, especially considering the fact that now we got marijuana places all over the city of Saginaw now. But, you know, there's a lot of things we need to be thankful for this Thanksgiving coming up. I'm thankful for my family, for my kids, my grandkids and great-grandkids. Not so much the great-grandkids, because they get on me a little bit. Them girls give me hell. Papa, why you say this? Papa, why you say that? Don't talk to grandma like that, all that kind of stuff. So, when I'm 10 years old, say she's going to put hands on me. So, so they're giving it to me. But I must say that during these holidays, we're going to have a lot of families going to be going through a lot of grief for not having their loved ones. And all this killing that's going on here in the city of Saginaw, got to stop, y'all. We got to engage these people. You know, you'd be surprised on a person's life you can save just by having a conversation with them because you don't know what else they're going to do next. But we do know that if you talk to people and get to, maybe you can give them some resources to help them out or something like that. There's a lot of resources in the city of Saginaw. They want to help families out. So we got to engage our people so we can have a better Saginaw. So I'm going to continue to do my part, and hopefully everybody else will do their part, and we make this a better place for everybody to live in. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilman Oster.
Thank you, Mayor, and welcome everybody tonight in the chamber and watching from home. December 1st, World AIDS Day, always gives me an opportunity to talk to the public a little bit about HIV prevention, and tonight we had a proclamation for the Great Lakes Bay Health Centers. Right here in the city of Saginaw on Hoyt Avenue is the Hearth Home, and they are the organization that does serve the community for such services. So there is a program, it's called PrEP, and PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis. And if it's by pill form, and now it's also in an injection. And if taken daily, the pill form, it is 99.7% effective against HIV. So if you are single or not single, I always tell everybody it's just like COVID. HIV is a virus. It doesn't care. It just needs a host to live. So if you do want any more information, please reach out to the Hearth Home. They do have all the information on that there for you. Also, this weekend was a lot of celebration in the city. A lot of my colleagues here, we celebrated holidays in the heart of the city. It was a lot of fun. The parade was a lot of fun. I'm not going to go into many details on that. We all looked up at the sky for a little while, didn't we, Priscilla? So, so the parade was a lot of fun. My favorite part of the parade is always seeing a lot of the kids when we're out there throwing candy, just to see their faces, and especially with a lot of the photographs that I posted up online on Facebook. So a little bit about the lighting ceremony for the public and for my colleagues. So the lighting ceremony does go back to a little bit on the Charles Lee Mansion. So Charles Lee, who ran the lumber mill along the river at 633 Washington Avenue, would later give the mansion business to his son, Henry Lee. And Henry Lee actually served as the mayor of Saginaw from 1904 to 1906. And Henry Lee's son, Russell, would later on work for the city of Saginaw, and Henry would retire from the city of Saginaw in 1966, but Henry, for over three decades, actually started the lighting ceremony that we carry on to this tradition to this day. So just a little bit of a history on the lighting ceremony that we all still enjoy and take on and still enjoy to this day. So I'm going to keep it quick. That's all I have today, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilman Braddock.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd just like to welcome, say hi to the council. But But I don't have much to say. I just want to offer my condolences to the families, to those who had losses over this weekend. We know we had, just double down on what Mr. Ball is talking about. And also, too, I would just like to say, just highlight, we need to empower our mothers in our community as well. And so, there's people out there that are reaching out, and so we got to make those resources come to life in people's lives as well. So, once again, just offer my condolences to those families who's suffering some loss right now. That's all I have.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilwoman Wiggins.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I had a great time this weekend in the city of Saginaw. It was great to see so many people in our community come out to see the lighting events and at the parade as well. I really enjoyed getting to know members of my council that, like Councilwoman Seal said, it's been a week for some of us. So we've had a lot to learn. We have a lot to learn. But I appreciate that time. And Councilman Ostache, thanks for that history. I appreciate that. This is a week of Thanksgiving, whether you celebrate it for whatever reason you celebrate it. It is a time to spend with family and friends. And I also appreciate that. But I just want to focus on what we have in Saginaw and what we have to be thankful for. We have a lot of beautiful, good things in Saginaw. Just the heart of our community members, our citizens, the basis of what we have here. It's not everywhere. And I just want to focus on that and say thank you. Thank you to everyone in this room, to all the members of the city of Saginaw, to all the staff. That helps make this place beautiful. And we're just going to keep going and make it even better. So thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have, I'm gonna mess it up. Councilwoman Hammond.
There you go. There you go. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, this week was a highlight of some very close to home tragedies and also close calls. Holidays in the Heart of the City is a great event, and it really was the first time, been up here with these colleagues for a week, but doing the parade was the first time I kind of felt like a council person with all of us up there, very high at some points, very cold at some points, but brought back to reality almost immediately. We had a very scary train derailment right on our river, and it appears to have been benign, the contents of that rail car, but railroad infrastructure is something that is a nationwide issue, obviously, and feeling the effects here at home are always scary. And I think that it's very, very lucky that wasn't a bigger issue that was caused. And of course, violence over the weekend is just it's so hard to read that and feel good about the holidays when you know that some people are just going through enormous amounts of tragedy. So my condolences as well to those families. I want to thank the city staff as well for meeting with me and answering my questions and following up with my follow-up questions and then answering my follow-up questions. I had some great generative discussions, very productive discussions on how we can move forward and what's going on. I fully anticipate to get into some very nerdy details about more to do with our water infrastructure and contracts and things moving forward like that. So thank you to everybody for answering those questions and just being really on top of it. It's been, so far, I feel like I've learned so much just in the past week. And there's a lot more to go. So just really thank you all for your time and for your engagement. It's a bit more intimate setting today. We don't have a completely full council chambers, but I'm sure for the many people paying attention at home and watching online, just thank you guys for being engaged and staying engaged and being present. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilwoman Sylvia. Thank you so much. Put that mic back so we can hear you.
Oh, can everyone hear me? Okay.
We can.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you so very much for coming to your city council meeting. Those that are viewing maybe at home or wherever they are. Just a couple announcements. I'd like to also send my condolences to the families that lost loved ones, and definitely to the family of Carrie Hatfield, who lost her life here in the city of Saginaw a couple of days ago. And another, again, kudos to the Beechwood Project, letting you guys know we're working on that, so they can be recognized for the volunteerism that they have actually bestowed upon our city. Awesome, and kudos again. Can't thank you all enough. And I really won't mention the parade.
Please don't. You was late.
It was something getting me up on there, but we won't talk about that. A little bit enjoyable too. Okay, all right, but so much for that. But thank you again for coming to City Council today. Have a blessed day, and happy Turkey Day, happy Thanksgiving Day, however you define it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Good evening, concerned citizens of the community. I'll bring it closer. I think I talk loud, but it's okay. I'll talk a little bit louder. So I just want to say today was my first day in training this morning with staff and the city staff. You guys really are amazing. Give kudos to you guys, because whenever I call, text, or anything, you guys have the answer. And I'm like, wow, you're better than Alexa. But yeah, so it's really good that you guys are awesome, and you guys have made my transitioning, coming into a council member, so much more easier, and not afraid to ask questions, because you guys are so happy and willing to go out and above and beyond to answer those questions. So I appreciate you. It is Thanksgiving week. It is a time to be happy. Not everybody grieving as well, lost ones, loved ones, and so we want to be thankful for what we do have. So this Thursday down at the East Side Soup Kitchen, if you're looking for somewhere to go, you don't have nowhere to be, your family, you can come down there from 11 to 12:30 and get a good home-cooked meal. And there's always a lot of people down there. I think I've been doing it for 5 years now. So if you got an opportunity and you don't have nowhere to go, come on down and be joyous with us down there. They'll have entertainment, singing, and things like that. I don't know about anybody's going to be dancing, but come on out, have a good time, get a good meal, and watch the Lions win Thursday, right? Also, my daughter announced Saturday while we were in the parade and I was recording live, she finally announced that I'm going to be a boy grandma again, February 2025. So exciting. So if you see all these gray hairs coming out, because I'm dealing with 2 boys, okay? So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And so not too much to say, just everybody have a safe holiday. Happy Thanksgiving in Spanish. Feliz Acción de Gracias. Good night. God bless. Thanks.
She's tough act to follow. I don't know no Spanish. Good evening again. The past 2 weeks have been draining and exhausting, but they've all been fun. The parade was really good. It gave me a chance to sit back and look at my colleagues. Who's gonna move and who's not gonna move in terms of what we're gonna do. 2 weeks ago, I got appointed to be the vice president of Michigan Municipal League's Mayor Association. So I am now second in control with the mayors, all that are involved with Michigan Municipal League, which means that it's another elevation for me. Another elevation for me means it's another elevation for the city. I don't elevate unless we all elevate. So I really want to thank the colleagues that came on Saturday and those that had us in prayer for coming, because you didn't have to come. Friday night was exciting. The fireworks were good. It's just too cold. If I could get away from the cold, I wouldn't mind being outside. Today we gave out turkeys, 100 turkeys we gave out throughout the city. I asked them next year to give me at least 25 vouchers myself and give me a total of 100. Give us the 100. I've got enough people up here on this podium who can give those turkeys to people, because people actually who had vouchers did not come to pick the turkeys up. So yes, I started giving them away. If you asked me, I gave it to you. This is Thanksgiving, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity to be in this seat. This is not a seat that I take lightly or take it for granted. It's all about this city. I say it over and over again. It's a new season. It's a new day. Yes, I may be elevating, but so is Saginaw. So for everyone that's under the sound of my voice, I just want to tell you happy, happy, happy Thanksgiving. And if you do nothing else, get somebody and tell them you love them. Thank you. So now we all done talking. Now it's time for our city manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We did have a couple items for the update. The trail derailment, as mentioned by Councilwoman Hammond. That was in Old Town, so when it was in Old Town, we knew it was going to be grain, because that's primarily what's moved through that area. But to give you an idea about how much of our staff is working 24/7, I didn't look at my phone right before, I think about 1:30 or 2 o'clock, and then the next time I looked at it, there were about 12 text messages. So all of our staff was on top of it, but there's limited things that we do involved with railway. So the railway is controlled by federal law. We don't investigate railway accidents. The Federal Railway Safety Act governs most of the railway as jurisdiction over rail service, and generally preempts state and local governments from interfering with that jurisdiction. So our fire department was contacted, our police department was contacted. Police department shuts down the roads around there. We did have help from the state and the county to do that. And the fire department responded, and once it was determined that there were no injuries and no hazardous materials, they did clear the scene as well, and then it's left to the rail system, the train company, to clean that up and work with the feds for investigation. You'll find we don't do a lot of work with the rail, but it's very difficult to work with the companies. They do have, like I said, pretty broad leeway. We've tried to work with them on some of the rail crossings. Some of you remember that. It does take some time, but we do have some communication with the local here, and that's good. But it does take a lot of time to make any changes with them. And at the last meeting, we had a little bit of discussion about the fairground gates, so we're working on that still. And the question was how much it was appraised at. It was appraised at about $20,000. So that's what we'll be bringing back to council in the next few meetings for the purchase as we continue to work with the Housing Commission. We had a few questions on items on the agenda. The one I do want to talk about is the city controller's office, and that's item number 2. I want to give some background on that because it's a really important contract for the city and our financial system. So Plant Moran has served as the city's controller since 2008. Before they came on board, we had multiple late audits, 6 months late, and I think one was 8 months late. The books were not closed on time, which was the reason why the audits were late. The bank reconciliations were, I think, maybe 6 months behind, and we had a tough time staffing that department. So then we brought Plant Moran in. They helped get that straightened away. We no longer have additional audit fees, which is something that we did experience year after year. We had, the books are closed on time, and the audit is much more efficient than it was before. The services they provide, all the services of the city controller, so responsible for recording and maintaining financial records, ensuring financial reporting, requirements are met, compliance and implementation of GASB rules, preparing year-end close and working with the independent auditors, protecting assets and providing internal administrative services with accounts payable and accounts receivable. So the last staffing for that department or division in fiscal services would have been a controller, a deputy controller, and 2 accountants. And at our current pay scale that we have in the city, that would cost $417,000. and the contract with Plant Moran is $324,800. So it's provides a savings there as well. And additionally, what the contract allows us to do is, it's a very small division in fiscal services, so 4 people. But if you have a vacancy there, then you get these issues like you can't keep up with bankrupts, you can't close the books, and it's difficult to hire accountants right now. It's a high demand position. All the firms in the city have job postings in Lansing and throughout the state of Michigan. So this allows us to keep that staffed up. If someone leaves that assignment, they can put someone else in right away. So it's pretty crucial to our financial management. So I wanted to go into that a little bit for council, and that concludes the management update.
Do we have any questions for the city manager? Yes,
Thank you.
Councilwoman Hamlin.
Thank you. So just on the question of Plant Moran, what does it mean when you say protecting assets?
Well, part of what the controller does is keeping track of fixed assets. If it's a fixed asset purchase that would go into our records, which I think is anything over $5,000, they track all of that. There were GASB rules, I'm not sure if they're still in place, about tagging fixed assets and monitoring that. So that's what they're involved in.
Okay. And then on the rail crossings, has the city been contacted at all about a time frame for the NTSB report, the Transportation Safety Board, or like basically will we be receiving a copy of that at all, or is that just up to the rail company to share as they see fit? Or will it be posted publicly, I guess is the question.
I don't know. I don't think we've had a rail accident in the city that I'm aware of in the last 20 years, so it'll be new for us as well.
Okay.
Yep.
I think those reports are public, but it takes a long time.
I would imagine it would be.
Yeah, like a long time, okay.
Particularly since it wasn't there weren't injuries involved, I imagine.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna try to keep an eye out for it, but sometimes it's in the months or even years category, sometimes for those reports to be made public, so I guess it would just be a comment if your office or someone in the city does come across or does get sent it proactively for any reason. I'd like to be afforded a copy if someone's feeling generous at the NTSB to send it out. But other than that, yeah, a lot of the rail companies predate the existence of our cities and the National Railway Act, rather. It's how it was described to me is that essentially rail lines have almost a military level of exemptions when it comes to like legal authorities of municipalities that they run through. So it's one of those situations where I'd like to see accountability on it, but there's not a lot of leeway under the law, it appears. Is that correct?
Yes, you're correct, yes.
All right, yeah, those are my questions, thank you.
I was gonna say, you don't get but 2. Okay. All right, you get 2, then I come back, and then you get more. Anyone else?
No question.
Yes, Councilman Oster.
Yeah, I don't really have a question, just a comment to the manager, because staff had sent out a Chamber of Commerce event that had went on. It was an evening event, so just for the council members, that there is the percolator breakfast that's coming up on December 5th. So that's at 7:30 in the morning. That'll be at the Horizons Conference Center. Mayor Pro Tem Garcia and I have attended before. It's always a good event. There's a lot of good speakers, so just, that'll be coming up.
And it's a good Christmas sweater.
Yeah, so, good
Win.
event. Saginaw Police Department's normally there too, so, the fire department. Thank you.
Anyone else? For the good and the order. Madam Clerk.
Mayor, that takes us to the consent agenda.
The agenda has been available in City Hall and on the city webpage and on SGTV Channel 191. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, leaving room for exceptions.
So move.
Support.
It's been moved and support. Do I have any exceptions?
Exception to number 3.
Number 3. Any other ones? Yes,
Number 5.
3 and 5. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Madam Clerk.
Item number 3 is to approve the professional services agreement with Placer Labs Incorporated for $23,000 for Placer IE data software for the Neighborhood Services and Inspections Department, Planning and Economic Development Division. That was Councilmember Ham.
Hi, Cassie.
Hi, council members.
The Placer LLC, is this a new agreement? This is a new company that we're looking into entering agreement into? Like, we haven't worked with them before?
Yes.
Okay. And it's a 12-month agreement. We talked about this, and to be used to try and update the economic development strategy of the city. Can you just explain how the software works and where the city of Saginaw kind of fits into it?
So, it's essentially a market analysis platform. So it collects data off of cell phones, it has tons of market data within it, and we will be able to utilize that data for the city of Saginaw to be able to pull reports, to be able to pull all kinds of different information for things like studies, to put together RFPs for different properties, to help attract different types of businesses. I can send around, I sent Carly and a few of you were copied on there, quite a bit more information. There's a ton of different companies like this and different platforms that are around. I've been looking at them for quite a while. You hire companies to do market studies so that you can understand your community. This has real-time data that I'll be able to look at yesterday's numbers today. So moving forward, I can do literally anything that you would want. I can look at a certain boundary of an area and see who is in there within this time to this time. I would love to use it for all of the Pride events that happen so that we can have real numbers on who came into these areas, where these people came from, what they did while they were in town. It just has a plethora of the data. You can't ask questions till we approve. FYI.
Okay.
Or was she finished?
She's got to ask her questions.
I just have like one more question, and then we can.
And then I'm going to get to you.
Okay, I'm fine.
Is there any, so I read through the slide deck and I looked at all the materials you sent me. Thank you so much. So I looked at all their website and what they kind of shop out. Do you know of any communities of like similar size and financial situation as the city of Saginaw that utilize this service?
There was a whole list in the presentation of different examples of communities. I don't know them offhand.
Okay, because I saw like Seattle and like Denver and like which of course is what they're gonna put on their own like advertisement, but I just wasn't sure if you knew of any like similar small size cities.
I don't know of any offhand. There was probably 50 listed on the slide deck.
Okay, and then, so for this particular program, it's appropriation for $23,000 for 1 year for this software. It kind of, I assume, like, test it out and see if it's a good fit as well. Is there any barrier to using more traditional data collection methods that are like a side-by-side comparison that were analyzed to use this? Because this is like some pretty advanced technological like information gathering on individuals. Is there a reason why that's a preferable method to some more traditional data collection services?
Well, we use traditional data collection services now. This is much more advanced, so we'll be able to have real-time data to look things up. It also is, they partner with a bunch of different like nationwide companies, so you can have they have their specific like what am I thinking of? Their qualifications for site selection. They will have, like a Starbucks has very specific things that they're looking for, whether it's the income of the folks who live in the area, the square footage of the building, the traffic counts on the road. They have all of that within this software, so that I can literally click on a site that is vacant right now and it'll pull up 20 different types of businesses that would be able to go within this site based on their own personal parameters, and it'll spit out a PowerPoint that we can then send directly to them. So yes, we can use traditional methods, we already do. I want to do better. So I've selected this. And as I said, I've been looking into this for multiple years now. So this is my recommendation for what we should move forward for. I took it to the city manager like a year ago, got it written into the budget so that it would be approved because we now have 2 additional staff members who will be able to be dedicated to this, as well as myself and 1 other staff member, as well as I believe SCDC will use it. I don't really see any downsides to this. So.
Okay, thank you for answering my questions.
Maybe
Okay.
a motion.
Motion.
You need a
We
motion.
got a motion on the floor.
No, we don't have a motion.
No,
yet.
we don't have a motion.
Motion to approve consent agenda number 3.
Now we have a motion on the floor.
Support.
It's been moved in support. Councilwoman,
Thank you very much. I guess I was one of those that didn't get that information because I didn't get an email from you or I didn't see one. So, couple questions. You talked about the income of citizens or income of people going and coming. You can look that up. I just want to know, how does this invade the privacy of people coming and going? It seems kind of out there to me, but maybe you can help me.
So all of the privacy stuff is written within their platform. We're just using their platform. So they essentially collect, and I am not like the professional in any of this. I've literally just watched demos. We're not even working with them yet, you guys. So you can get more information from them if you would like as we move forward. But, well, I wrote a CC that had some information in there, but I didn't know you guys were.
But the data that they get is coming from the apps that you have on your phone.
Yeah.
So when you put an app on your phone, you're agreeing to share your data.
There's some people, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you have it on there, you've agreed to it, if you're
And
utilizing it.
it doesn't pin down to like names or any specific information. It just has generalized information about you as a consumer.
So, but you did speak about the income of a person, so I could walk in.
Well, that's available through the census. So it pulls information from census data and things like that, so it can tell what the income is in a certain area. I can look that up right now.
No, I'm thinking the way you said it, but, you know, that's why we're having this conversation, this dialogue. So I can walk in, let's just say City Hall, and they can look me up and say, her income is, yes, no?
I don't know, but I would be able to put a geofence, what I do know is I'd be able to put a geofence around City Hall and see how many people went in there and then certain characteristics about them.
But you can look up way
So-
more than that too, though, right?
I'm not positive every single data point that is in here, no. It does not drill down to the individual person, though, where I could see that Monique Lamar Sylvia came in and this is how much she makes and this is where she lives. It's not that. It would say like 50 people were in City Hall today. This is what the average income is. This is maybe where some of them live and this and that, and it's like dots on a map. It's not like this is your house.
So it can't get my
Does that make
social
sense?
security number?
I would like to get
Yeah.
more information in regards to this. I didn't get anything, or I didn't see anything from you. I'd like to get more information and more in-depth information, even information that you don't have in regards to this. But thank you very much.
okay, we got a motion on the floor.
I do have one point of clarification, just because I have the slide deck open to some of the questions, and I do work with some data software. I do work with data aggregating software, so I'm familiar with some of the methods that they use, and I don't, it's all kind of dependent on how you use it. It looks to me like they basically associate an individual in your IMEI, which is your phone's specific tag, and then use that to aggregate data on individuals, but then it wipes out the personal identifying information before it sends it to the user. So the company, that's what they do, is they aggregate all of this data on everybody that is geo-tracked, but what they present to you is not necessarily, it can't be back-searched in that way. But it is coming up with demographics and psychographic information, work locations, home location, age, ethnicity, race, psychographics. That's from their slide deck that I pulled from it. So that's my concern as well. Is it's just a lot of personalized information being pulled from individual phones. that is one method of, and I will just say, I really appreciate getting more data. I think that is needed. I'm just not convinced that this is the best way to go about doing it. I could definitely be convinced with more information. So that's, I wanted to extend my thoughts to the council and the public on that.
I do have a list of uses that we can use this for, if you guys are curious about that.
Yes,
I don't know if I'm not explaining it well.
That is my question, because right now, the public's hearing like, we're just out here poking our noses into people's business. So right here, it says in your CC, it says we're going to be using this for grant applications, so maybe you can give us some examples of why you're proposing to use this kind of software. So what are we looking to do with it?
Sure. So one of the big uses would be for grant applications, for reporting. So we will be able to, so like one example specifically, I've been talking with Jeannie Conger over at Positive Results downtown Saginaw. They, for their event specifically, what they're doing is figuring out how many people are going there and using that to be able to write grants, to get funding, to get the food trucks to come, to get the shows to come, and they need to have accurate numbers. The way that they're doing it right now is for Morley Plaza, they've literally made a grid and kind of figured out how many people generally can fit inside the grid, and then they can like picture this. Is that correct? For holidays in the heart of the city, they know the occupancy of the churches. And then they know the occupancy within the Anderson Enrichment Center, and they know a couple things like that to kind of estimate. But my guess is that they're probably really far off. The other thing that you're not really able to estimate, unless you ask every single business that day, is how much money did they make that day? We can find that data out, and that data is not digging into anybody's personal information. That's the economic impact of an event that we can then write into a grant application and tell people this is why your money is well invested in this event, because it's going to benefit all of our small businesses. Another thing, like I mentioned already, would be for a retail attraction. So if we look at the vacant Walgreens that's over on the corner of Michigan and Genesee, we can have somebody buy that and say the only thing that will work in here is a Walgreens. We can use this data to pull 20 different businesses that are national retailers, that we can say, actually, why don't we approach one of these, and look, we already have a PowerPoint ready to go for you.
Cassie,
Well,
I would
yes.
say too, like, so a big point of discussion was, okay, do you want to attract a national grocer? They look for this kind of data. I mean, there's certain things that they can pull just based upon other records, like how many rooftops do you have? And I know Cassie's worked with them before, but if you can show them X number of people drive by there's X number of foot traffic, this many live in the city, this many live outside of the city, that's data that they're looking for when they're placing those businesses.
Part of the grant process.
And we do check all of these numbers. These types of things are things that we pull in a way, but it's either, it's like an annual thing or maybe only 5 years, and a lot of this is private, so we don't have it. So it will be very helpful in a lot of things that we do.
Well, that's a good idea too.
I think we're getting off point where we need to be,
I do have a question.
because we done went from personal, yes, Councilwoman.
In the company that I'm at, we use this information all the time. People volunteered. When you're using apps, you're playing, pinochle or spades. There's a whatever. You have to agree or disagree or go in and say, no, don't share my data. The data's out there. It's there to be mined. There's a while ago, I was interested in bringing in a Dave & Buster's, and just going to their franchise information, we didn't qualify. We didn't have the traffic, we didn't have the money levels. Like I said, the information is out there, and they do use that information. For me, I would love to vote, on this tonight, but I also wasn't copied on like the deck or something like. I would just like more information before I can say absolutely yes. It sounds like I'd be interested. If I could have that information, I could do a lot of things. So, but I would just like a little bit more information so that I can do my own due diligence on it. And also, my question, I guess, would be, the price point of that $23,000, are there any other, you said you've been looking at it for 4 years, is that comparable, like, to the services they provide? Is there some other service out there that might be a little cheaper for Saginaw and the level of our population right now?
I honestly haven't compared them to anything in a while,
Okay.
so I'm not positive, but I haven't found anything that has this amount of data, but
Okay. Is that something maybe we can look into?
sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilwoman.
Well, I would like to know if a motion can be made to table this to the next meeting or another meeting.
You can make a motion for anything
Well,
that
I'd
you
like to
like.
make a motion that, if I can do that at this
You can
particular
postpone
time.
to the next meeting.
Yes, to our next meeting.
Information.
And that all persons get the information from Ms. Zimmerman. I didn't get it, I didn't see it, I'm even looking now, I don't see it.
Can I do point of information? Carly was the one that had initiated it, so she seed certain members of the council, and that's why we were privy to the information. So I guess not everyone was aware that that's what she was gonna ask. So that's why certain council members were able to get that information that she CC'd. It wasn't something that Cassie just put out there. It was something that was asked by the council, so just to clear that up.
Yeah, I did see that, but it didn't come up. It wouldn't open, so I didn't get it, so, anyway, that's.
For me, I was
my
copied
motion.
on like a couple of the answers, but I didn't get the deck. And I didn't get, yeah.
Right.
I think everybody needs to
We
understand
have
when,
a second on the, there's a motion from Councilmember Sylvia.
pardon me,
Second.
Do we have a second? Thank you. So you're talking about the motion to postpone at this point, if you're doing.
okay, but we
discussion.
gotta do that one first.
Yes.
She did it, yeah.
Any more questions or comments? All those in favor of postponing item number 3 until further information signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
Aye. A lot of it is aye.
No,
Roll call
vote.
vote.
I'll vote, Mayor. I heard a nay. Councilmember Sylvia.
Yes.
Councilmember Seals.
Yes.
Councilmember Balls.
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Nay,
You said nay.
nay.
Councilmember Ostash.
Yes.
Councilmember Braddock.
Yes.
Councilmember Wiggins.
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond.
Yes.
And Mayor Moore.
Nay.
We have 6 yes and 3 nay. The motion carries to postpone.
So now we go back to the original.
Nope.
No, it's
It's
postponed.
dead.
Postpone to the
Okay.
Next meeting.
Well, not dead, to the next meeting.
Not dead.
To the next meeting.
Yeah, we're just gonna move on to item number 5, which is to approve the purchase with Black and Veatch for $236,000, or $435,000 for professional consultation services for the Water and Wastewater Treatment Department, Treatment and Pumping Division. That was Councilmember Sylvia.
Thank you so much. I know City Manager Tim and I, we've kind of been discussing this back and forth. 2 things I'd like is to kind of explain to our citizens, to our council, why we're going with this particular entity as opposed to the ones we've had before, that we used before. And the other one is the price difference in this particular entity and the entities that we used before, because that's the one information I didn't get, and I guess it was getting kind of late for today anyway. Thank you so much.
So what this is engineering services to support our state revolving fund receipt that we got. So we had $18 million, or $18+ million, for 2 different projects at the wastewater treatment plant. Why we went with Black and Veatch for this work is because, well, twofold. One, we were on the clock. I have to have this out to be bid by the end of May. This is not a simple, pull the pump out, stick a new pump in kind of project. So there is a lot of work there. Black and Veatch is a national firm. They literally wrote the book on UV treatment. So that's why I went with Black and Veatch. We have to hit these deadlines. Are there other folks inside of our other firms on our engineering contracts that could do this work? Possibly, but this thing literally lends itself to larger firms. And sometimes you need that 800-pound gorilla to come in and do their thing. So in the interest of speed, I know that they can do this work because of the resources they're able to bring to bear on it. If they do hit a hiccup, they'll just throw more bodies at it. So that's why we got to where we're at right now. And again, I'm on the clock to get this thing bid in order to get the money so we can get the forgiveness on those loans.
Second part of the question, price-wise.
Did not look at another firm.
Okay.
This is the default expert in this area. I can make a good guess because they're the default expert in this area. They're almost never the cheapest. And that's one of the things you're paying for when you get into these big gummy projects, which this will be, that needs to be done very quickly and right, because we can't afford to be wrong at the end of the day. You're gonna wanna go ahead and just pay the 800-pound gorilla, get your project done right, get your SRF loans, get your forgiveness.
And so how long have you known that we needed to look at this particular, how long?
This went down, we were informed that we were, 3 or 4 down on the list in late summer, so in August sometime, that we may be picked. We did not get this confirmed until into October. And I still haven't received the paperwork from the state that actually makes any of that official. And the one thing I try not to do is spend any of your money until I know I have it. So that's why it is tight. And then if the mayor's able to talk to anybody from the state at her new position, she can make that timeline a lot longer. It would make my life a lot easier.
All right, thank you so much.
Yep.
Motion to approve agenda item number 5.
Support.
It's been moved in second. Any more discussion? Yes.
I have a point. So thank you for, well, I was actually really excited. So thank you to Councilwoman Sylvia for asking the question, because I didn't realize until the question was asked that this was tied to a whole update of the system to switching to UV treatment. Is that correct?
Correct.
So I love to see that. I'm a water treatment nerd. The gold standard is like reverse osmosis, emphasis on the gold, because it would be prohibitively expensive, but I do like to see the modernization. So is it true that, so this project kind of came about, it's something that, so we got tapped in a grants program through like a whole elimination process?
The whole SRF process
Yeah.
is painful, and it's all about scoring points.
Yes.
So we contract with a different engineering firm to help us with that. I literally give them, here's my capital improvement list, here's a few other projects that we have on the list, and they arrange that by what's gonna score the best. So this solely why we're doing UV this year, is adding that with the other project we have to fix some gates out front and do some work on our primary treatment, structural work. We're able, I lost my train of thought, but we're able to go ahead and score enough points that it got us to almost over the line, and then once a couple of communities dropped out, we made it over the line.
Well, congratulations, because that is a feat. And so with this, this switch over, so this is for the engineering services, because obviously we have to do some like physical updates in order to make the UV.
This is
work.
for the beginning
beginning
of the engineering services. This is up for up to 50% of the engineering services. Again, in the interest of time to get Black and Beach to start working on this, we asked for a small proposal to start with because I gotta get the work started. We have this rolling already inside of our engineering contracts for the structural work that we're also going to be doing, because this project is twofold, or this year's SRF work at the wastewater plant is twofold.
Okay. I'll let others ask questions.
Thank you. Do these funds come out of the water fund?
This will be, the funds that will pay back the loans, yes, will be out of the water fund. But there's, and I'm gonna screw the number up and I didn't write it down, I believe it's $9 million of forgiveness on this loan. So they're giving us, or is it close to 6? Anyway.
This is wastewater, though.
Well, this is the wastewater side.
Just so there's no confusion, this isn't water treatment, this is wastewater.
And we have the same thing happening on the other side as well. So
You
we
said
pulled-
water and wastewater, so that's why I said it on here. So you're saying it does not come out of the water fund?
No, the money to pay back those bonds will come out of the water fund.
Yes, water, wastewater, same fund.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, the wastewater funds. And then portion of that loan will be forgiven. Okay. And I believe it's towards $7 million.
So this is a win-win for us, y'all. Let's go
Right.
for it.
So, city manager. Now, I'll leave that thought there. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm just reading some of your correspondence about questions that was asked earlier. You mentioned the challenges of your supply.
Yes.
Like chlorine. I know, we've had a couple of explosions in the last 4 or 5 years at chlorine manufacturing plants. So that would be a good thing to get past.
Yes,
So we're not
yes. And
dependent
then
on that.
the other thing with that, their price increases, we have a contract, they don't care.
No.
If you want the gas, you get to go ahead and sign the paperwork, or you cannot. It's literally that hard.
Correct. Okay, thank you.
Now
Call
we
for the
go-
question, please.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing. Call for the question.
Need the motion?
There's a motion on the floor to call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying
Still have
aye.
a second, yeah.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought,
Second, yes.
and now it's been moved to second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The original motion is,
To approve the purchase with Black and Veatch for $236,435 for professional consultation services for the Water and Wastewater Treatment Department, Treatment and Pumping Division.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Madam Clerk.
That takes us to board, commission, and committee reports.
I need a motion to approve 1 through
You're at
4.
reports, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anybody have any reports? Yes.
Just that the planning commission is meeting tomorrow here in the chamber at 6:30,
Anyone else?
6 o'clock.
or 6 o'clock, sorry.
Madam Clerk, can you give me a listing of all of the open committees so we can look at assigning
Of course.
council people so that they can have reports to give? Madam Clerk,
Takes us to appointment of board, commission, and committee members.
I need a motion to approve 1 through 4, leaving room for exception.
So moved.
It's been moved to second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Madam Clerk,
You're at miscellaneous business.
do we have any motions? Hearing none. Happy Thanksgiving. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved to second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.